Son of Man. Somebody has to speak truth to power.
I took the day off. Look out the window. Working the weekend and all his brother needs to be freaking. Breathe fair air as I prepare to look fresh. Wondering what my life gon' get on the placement test. As I caress the pencil and put volume on the instruments, and I realized the busting suckers was a task that was too simple. Now as my deep thought pondered and my intellect wandered, it took me to a scene that made a revelation of a daydream. And it was my mom singing, don't let them fool you. And they only gon' give you 3/5 when they school you. So read, cause your mind will forever feed the need to water your soul seed, and then you find your life's free.
I remember when I was dumb, deaf, and blind at 85. Deliverance to lift me from the spell of ignorance, which had me binded tight. And it came like a thief in the night, restored my cultural heritage, switching wrong and the right. Yeah, tight. And it came like a vision of light, and got me open for scoping so I could cope with this life. Cause
gotta be more to life, more to life, more to life. Goodness, gotta be more to life, more to life, more to life. Goodness, gotta be more to life, more to life, more to life. Goodness, gotta be more to life, more to life, more to life.
Welcome to our first episode this year. Happy New Year to everyone of Natural Movement. I am one of your hosts, Jalil Kareem, and my esteemed colleague is
Duran Manifest, Duran Chavis. Happy to be here with you all, welcoming in a new year, trying to do new things, looking forward to giving you all more information about natural movements throughout the Mid-Atlantic region. We just want to give people a new taste, something new as we bring in a new year.
Yeah.
Try to encourage folks to take new paths, new steps towards living naturally, and explore some of the natural lifestyles and ways that people are living.
Yeah,
and that's tapping into a more holistic way of life. So with that, I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. You were just listening to Junipers, Rubber People, song called Truth to Power. And how you want to start it off, John?
I want to start off with Happily Natural and what that is actually.
Okay. Well, for those who are tuning in, my name is Duran Chavis, also known as Brother Manifest. The program that I am the founder of and coordinator of is called Happily Natural Day. Happily Natural Day is a grassroots festival that's dedicated to holistic health, cultural awareness, and social change. We've been here in the city of Richmond for about 8 years now, since 2003. This will actually be our 9th year. And we've been dedicated to raising the awareness and consciousness of human beings, of people, on issues of how to live naturally, how to love oneself, and why that is important, what the benefits of that are, and also encouraging folks to make a difference in their community. We feature music from all over the country, vendors, exhibitors, artisans, service providers from all up and down the East Coast, all over the world. Actually, we've had international guests as well.
I want to know, I'm sure everybody, what inspired this idea of Happily Natural Day?
Well, we came up with the idea of Happily Natural Day. I was working at local nonprofit, the Black History Museum and Cultural Center of Virginia.
Yeah. On Clay Street, is that?
Yeah, on Clay Street, yep, in Jackson Ward, historic Jackson Ward. And the desire was to create an event that would celebrate pride in one's ethnicity. That was kind of like the precursor. We dealt with different issues: natural hair, diet, nutrition, health and wellness, and other cultural issues. And it was really a blast. We had a great time. Poets from all over the Virginia region came, and also we had internationally renowned scholars come and present, and musicians from all over Virginia came and presented. And it was a smash success. We only planned on doing it once. You know, it was really like a one-off. But the demand for a program of that nature was so high that we just ended up doing it again and again, and it has just grown. Now we're actually doing it in Atlanta, Georgia, for the third year. This year in 2011, we'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, and we're also doing it here in Richmond, Virginia. So, we encourage, all those who may be interested in living naturally
Yeah.
and supporting natural movement to come out to Happily Natural Day in August. It's held every August. And tune into or log on to happilynaturalday.com and check out more information about that.
Okay.
But I know you have a company too, Ja, and I wanted to ask you about that. I want people to kind of get raise their awareness about some of the things that you work with. You do have a company called Movement for Life.
Yeah, Movement for Life, and that company started out of I was sickly as a kid. You know, I was active. I had asthma, and I wanted to not stay in the hospital, and I didn't, and I just started doing martial arts, and I rode my bike, and I just started. I didn't like exercise.
Okay.
Basically, was my cure, and it's basically it's a cure-all. Exercise, dance, movement. A lot of people get caught up in moving up the ladder,
Right.
or moving down or moving forward, but movement is all over. Movement
Right.
is left, right. Crabs walk sideways.
Right.
That's their forward, and
Right.
you
gotta respect that, yeah.
You gotta respect that. And I had a bunch of older brothers, and they kept beating me up, so when I started taking martial arts, they became my students.
Okay.
So there was no, but it's not about fighting. Moving for Life is about exercise, and when you exercise, you exorcise those demons or those personality flaws and what have you.
Right.
And it coincides with living naturally. I mean, you can live, you can eat naturally, but you have to move naturally. You have
Right.
to speak naturally. You have to be yourself, and being yourself encompasses a lot of things. A lot of times, even the Kung Fu and the Shaolin monks, they had to learn how to protect themselves because they have an idea of peace and harmony, but not everybody agrees with it. So, if you don't have self-respect, you're not going to get respect,
Right,
and that's so important. It's not, like I said, it's not about fighting. It's about finding new ways to do things. Just like if a normal person after they exercise, they don't want wings, they don't want ranch dressing. They're going to think a little bit, a little better. And I've seen a growing obesity rate.
Okay. Yeah.
Like really, like I hate to say it, and not to be shallow, but it's something that and nobody's really taking that seriously.
Yeah.
And
I would venture, I would put myself on a limb and say that it's unnatural, that it's even a lot of folks say things like being obese and things like that. That's just the way people are. But really, if it's not advantageous to an optimal life, span and the quality of life,
oh my God,
then why would you be okay or complacent in having a quality of life that isn't the best?
I've got a lot of clothes. Only reason I have a lot of clothes is because I haven't gained weight since high school. So there's, my wardrobe has expanded, except me. Now that's where the cooking and see, when you cook for people, you're taking yourself out of the equation.
Right,
and I think that's so important by getting over your ego.
Right.
And self-respect. If you don't have to be in control of everything.
Right.
And I'd rather take a mental health day than a sick day. You'll get so much more done. You're a lot more efficient. You stand up straight. You listen more. You're just it's a natural way to be.
Let me ask you something about the martial arts. Would you say that the martial arts actually can help improve people's confidence level and things like that, or is that somewhat of a myth?
It does, but it really gets you, once you start breathing heavy and you get that blood flowing and see, a lot of times people react to stress, and stress is the number one killer.
Right.
I'm stressed, let me smoke a cigarette. I'm stressed, let me
Eat a hamburger.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Eat some ice cream.
Yeah, that's my comfort food.
Get a
And
Milky Way or whatever.
I'm telling you, it's you have to look into yourself you have to look at yourself to get rid of your ego. You have to look inside yourself, and a lot of people don't take that really seriously.
Yeah.
They don't find they're not comfortable in their own skin. Like even Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's big, but he's going to naturally shrink down to his natural size. I mean, he's not going to be a big cock diesel guy forever.
Exactly.
And I'm not saying that you have to be strong and what have you, or look strong to be strong.
Right.
You want to have full range of motion and full strength.
Right.
And I think that with martial arts, you kind of doing two things. You're exercising the body and the mind. And of course, by learning ways to defend yourself, you're going to have a lot more confidence. You're not going to be, you're not going to be the guy on the beach with kicking sand in everybody's face. But it's a quiet. They just know not to mess with you.
Well, just to think about, that connection, between balance.
Yeah, mind and body. Yeah,
mind, body balance. That's one of the things that we want to try to convey over the next couple of weeks. The idea of being natural as being something that's balanced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different definitions for, what is natural. As we've ventured into the last couple of years, there's been a rise in natural products. The whole idea of something being natural has been marketed to us in a new way.
Or organic.
Or organic, organic. Like I go to the grocery store, if it's organic, it necessarily might cost more, but does that mean that it's
just
really
a word?
It's just a word on the box. So, we got to really kind of think about what ways is this interplay in our lives and what things are we trying to integrate into our lives that can help accentuate, our quality of life. And, I think we'll, over the next couple of weeks, we'll be featuring, different things. I know for one, we're definitely going to be talking about cooking, and diet and nutrition. So, folks can look forward to some cooking demos and things like that. We'll be showing ways to cook naturally and easily,
and inexpensively.
Take a trip to the grocery store, and show you how to go straight from the grocery store to the kitchen. And it'll be brothers, showing you how to cook. So it's a different type of element.
And it's not artery clogging, just because it's soul food,
Right. So
put an extra piece of fat back on that.
So we got a lot of different things, but I want to go back to that mind-body connection about balance. You practice yoga.
Yeah,
right.
Yoga also.
And so is that something that you teach as well? And if so, kind of tell us about that. Like, how did you get into yoga? And what have been the benefits? Because I'm talking about this because I want people to understand that it's not just about the martial arts, but you're also a personal trainer. Yeah. You also do yoga. There's a wide array of things
most
under the belt in your business.
That's very important. It's like remember Bo Jackson. He played professional football, and on the off season he cross trained. And he played baseball in the summer. And that's once you understand something, you want to find you look for the similarities in it instead of looking like that's different. I don't like that. Yoga, martial arts was like the engine, and yoga was the brakes. Your yoga meditation. So you might have a fast car, but if your brakes aren't good, then you just got a fast car. You can't, if you can get heated, but you actually have to slow down and cool down. And that's where the balance comes from. That's where I was looking for balance, and I was very curious about yoga. I mean, it was it was a lot different than martial arts. You know, you had this defensive mechanism going on in your brain, and yoga kind of opened you up and allowed you to not think about that. You really get into yourself. You know, it's like it's almost like sensory deprivation, where all you can hear is your breath. You know, and it's something that everyone can do. I mean, you can be a farmer and do yoga. You can work at Media One and do yoga. You can be whoever you are and do yoga. And being a personal trainer, I get all these guys who are, you know, big, but they can't scratch your back. You know, you can't. And what good is full strength without full range of motion? You know, that's where you digest food better, and it's almost it's meditative. It can also be meditative, and it can also energize you. You know, and when you see a baby sleeping, it's like, I want to sleep like that.
Yeah, sleep like a baby.
Yeah, and what I notice about yoga, the breath, you breathe through your stomach versus. And that's more of a fire breath.
Right.
But when you see a baby breathe, you see that stomach go out, and that's your lungs come all the way down to here.
Right.
So when you just breathe up here, it's just you're not getting
a full breath.
Yeah, you're not getting a full breath, and so you're cheating yourself. You know, I mean, and you need a way to calm yourself at the same time. You need just like you need to be able to energize yourself, and by keeping your system balanced. That's where you don't have things that bother you as much. Right. You know, you'll really get to the meat of the matter, even when people come with you with so much drama. You know, you have to take a moment out and breathe it out, breathe it in, and it helps you with joint health. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't have access to a gym. Right. You know, right. And that's okay. You know, you can do this wherever you're at. I mean. Walking is cool. I mean, you have to encompass everything. My kids, they play a bunch of sports, and you know, I can't be stuck in one sport. Right. You know, I can't be stuck playing football, and another sport has me to do another movement. So you have to balance, and fitness is how people think it's about the muscles, but it's about the whole body works as one. And yoga helps you realize that. I mean, it really centers you. And unfortunately, more women take yoga than men. Yeah. You know, and it's
ambiguous. Really, as a form, you know, it is ambiguous.
Yeah, everybody needs some yoga.
You made a statement about you know, being, you know, taking that deep breath, and you know, when I heard you say that, it made me think about, you know, being kind of at peace. Being at peace. Yeah. And you know, a lot of times, you know, anger management, conflict resolution, you know, it's always recommended for you to take 10 deep breaths. But what is the desire when people say take 10 deep breaths? Is to calm you down, to relax. Yeah. And you know, one of the things that you know, Natural Movements is about, and you know, and the work that we do is about helping people be at ease and be at peace with themselves, and because we live in a world and a society that's always, you know, it's high anxiety. There's always something going on. There's something always that's trying to take you off of your.
We're always reacting to something. We're always reacting to something, and you know, and it's really not about that. I mean. Right. Road rage, right? You know, I mean, really, right. You know, I mean, it's really not that serious, you know. And so, I mean, it should beat off your back like water on a duck's back or what have you. You know, I mean, we really, and our heart rate can't take it. You know, our heart really, if your heart rate is elevated and you're not exercising, then it's detrimental. Right. You know, because you got the adrenaline flowing and your body's not doing anything. Exactly. You know, and it's you know, and you're not thinking rationally. You know, and that's where martial arts come in. Is when you're at I guess with your opponent. You know, when you're in a stressful situation, that's the last place that a person really thinks. And that should be the first place. Yeah, that should be the first. That should be the first place that someone starts thinking. I mean, a person that's thinking becomes very dangerous, and it's not dangerous in a bad way, but a thinking person is an asset. Actually, it's not dangerous. A thinking person is an asset, and I think that once our system as a people, or just as individuals comes down to normal, and that means you got to eat right. You know, I mean, yeah, you can have some chips. You can, you know, you got to make some balance.
Right,
you know,
right,
I mean,
right.
we just can't live off steam.
Right,
you know. And I think that's where natural movement come from.
Right.
You know,
I was thinking about how people have a tendency to always be outside of themselves, you know, and I think it's so important when you think about natural and being natural and just being in your natural element. It's really a throwback to just knowing who you are and being okay with yourself and just being at one with who you are and what you're trying to accomplish, and
really take that into perspective. I agree. You know,
and I brought that up because, you know, of course we're in a recession, you know, and people are kind of in a high anxiety state, trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do in order to feed my family, and what am I going to do in order to make sure that the ends meet, and et cetera. And one of the most obvious things that people can do is being overlooked because they're outside of themselves. We live in a society that tells us, you know, hey, you know, go to school, go to college and get a job, and, you know, even if you don't go to school, you know, even if you don't graduate, still get a job. Like, it's always speaking to people to be outside of themselves, to look unto something else in order to manifest their reality. And one of the ways that, you know I myself and many others, you know, have found footing, you know, in this reality is being entrepreneurs and developing their own, you know, their own businesses. And I think that that's very natural. It's really because if you think about it, you know, we come from societies that were very like, you know, here I'm gonna teach you how to do this, and you're gonna do this, and as a result of being able to do this, whether it was a blacksmith, a carpenter, whether you made hats or or whether you farmed or raised cows, or whatever your modus operandi in terms of your day-to-day work, you were able to sustain yourself without having to, you know, clock in every day. So if even 40, 50 years ago during segregation, when you couldn't get no job from,
you had to invent one.
Yeah, invent a job. You know, so, you know, now it's kind of like that. That's kind of like that was our natural response to not being able to participate in the dominant society. So, you know, now it's it's only natural that we return back to those things. And I wanted to ask you about, you know, your thoughts on, you know, entrepreneurship and, you know, specifically about being an entrepreneur and with your type of business. You know, considering, you know, so many people, you know, especially now, people making New Year's resolutions and things like that.
Well, it's very well. First of all, being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. You know, but it's more satisfying. You need less if you're doing something that you're satisfied with or you're happy doing. And with fitness, you know. Depends. I try not to. It's all you. You can't email me and tell me to do 50 push-ups and you're supposed to feel it. You know, you have to show up.
Right.
And
I Sim City.
You
can't get on the internet and be like, I'm gonna make my sim do 50 push-ups.
So, I mean, you know, people. I don't know if they like to complain. You know, I had a person working out with me and. God, I'm sweating.
Well,
that's a byproduct of work. Right. That's energy, you know, that's calories burned. That's the calories that was sitting around your spare tire that's being actually used. You know, that is potential energy.
Right.
You know, and how much potential energy does one person need? Which is fine. I mean, but you have to. I spend 8 hours a day pushing my business. You know, and. I get being an entrepreneur, sometimes being a personal trainer, you're like a bartender. I mean, you'd be surprised when I say exercise and you exercise, you'd be surprised what comes out. You know, and it's you. You know, oh God, I'm sweating. I mean, that's you. You know,
right.
You know, this is your skin. You know, I mean, it's just you want to be efficient. And it's one thing, people don't show up a lot of times because they walk by a bakery and be like, ooh, do I work out or do I, you know?
I would say one thing though, about being, an entrepreneur, you definitely had to be, secure in oneself. You definitely had to have a level of confidence and understanding of who you are and how you approach reality. Because, imagine if you were anxiety or artificial, if you want to do, opposites, the opposite of natural being artificial. If you were artificial trying to do a business, how in the world could you expect people to trust you? How could you expect people to respond to you authentically and connect with you, in the business world, whether it be clients or potential partners, because, it's all about networking. People can see through an artificial person every time. So if you, generally those people, mature individuals can see through someone who's being unauthentic every time. So if you are in a state of naturalness, if you're natural in your movement, natural in your identity, this is just you being you, then when you push your business, it comes second nature. It's just hey, I do this, that, and that, and that.
And you keep your day job,
right.
You keep your day job, and you live your passion, Now, if you're lucky enough that your job is your passion, kudos, But with this recession and with black people, there's always been a recession.
Right,
I mean, there's always been a recession. There was always a way, and I think that we need to everyone the barter system.
Yeah.
The money that you're not spending is money that you're saving. And being an entrepreneur, it's like, what makes you so special? And you have to ask yourself that every day. You have to find your little
That's just your idea. That's just your identity. It's not even just about being an entrepreneur. That's a tool to go back to. Even if you just don't want to start your own business to supplement your income, what makes you special? What sets you apart? What is your passion for life? What keeps you waking up in the morning?
In high school, what high school is a fashion show.
Yeah, true.
And what I used to do, I used to bring my camera to school. That was that wasn't my first job, but that was my first job myself,
right.
And it was very lucrative, and it was my first job. I mean, everybody, and I knew right then, I was like, I can do this myself. I don't need a job. And back in those days, 20 years ago, if you had locks, it was like, in fact, out of high school, I was going to get a job. I won't say the place, but he said, you're qualified and everything, but you're just going to have to cut your hair. I'm like,
what's it got to do with me?
Well, what's that got to do with me?
Me doing this job.
And that's what corporate America or corporation does to you. They strip you of your identity if you allow them to.
Right.
If you allow them to, they will strip you of your identity, and you're like an empty husk.
Now, a lot of times, I would step out there and say that we do live in a society that wants conformity. And that word assimilate. Somebody used that the other day. I was we were talking about affordable housing, and the conversation came up as to people assimilating into the culture, and I was like, I don't really want to assimilate into the culture. I want to keep my identity. I like who I am. I'm very secure, and this makes me happy. My personage and how I interact with reality, in my opinion, is perfectly fine. It's gotten me this far. I'm enjoying life. I'm very honored to be able to be in the position that I'm in. So me shifting in order to conform to your idea of who I should be is very unnatural. It's not. It doesn't allow me to be my full me. And I think that corporations, companies, organizations that allow individuals to be their full self. Different. All of us are different entities, but we're all focused on the same goal. We were talking about that the other day.
Yes, that is true.
That's like every individual whole coming together to make an even bigger whole. Like I can't be you. I can only be me. So that's.
How about you complete me? You're my other arm that wasn't there before.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and that's how I think that's where the obesity. I mean, I swear that obesity is more or less the new slavery. I mean, because supersize me.
Yeah, right.
I mean, good hair. I mean, we have ran so far from ourselves that we don't even know what we look like, or what we're supposed to look like.
Right, what we're supposed to look like, or who we truly can be, you know, or who we truly can manifest ourselves into.
Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. Your whole life, it should be a work in progress. That's why exercise and fitness and entrepreneurship is something that you'll never, retirement kills. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I don't have to get up, and then I don't have anything to do. So your entrepreneurship is something that you'll never retire from.
Who wants to retire from their passion?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
It's a wrap after that. I mean,
yeah, like when I retire from my passion, I'm ready to leave off of this plane. You know, that's like I'm done. My mission is finished. But you know, and even in, you can't ever retire if you have kids. Yeah. You know, I mean, you can't retire from life. Yeah. I mean, you have children. I have children. You have children. So you know, a part of being an entrepreneur is also thinking about legacy, thinking about building, for the future, thinking about continuity. Like my father did this, I did this, my sons can do this, and it's about passing down, traditions, passing down, values. And I think that one of the things that even, some ethnicities, particularly Africans in America, one of the things that have been missing in our strategy for improvement has been passing down those values and passing down legacies and businesses that can enhance our communities. I mean, because if you look at the Carnegies, the Rockefellers, the Goldman Sachs, the J.P. Morgans, these mega businesses, these multinational companies, what are they other than families that have passed down legacies and passed down values to their children and their children's children over hundreds of years. Now, if you look at some of the evil that those entities have manifested, now think about the good.
The Kennedys, everybody just be falling off the planet. Like,
I mean, really.
I mean, I think that entrepreneurship, and it gives your children a choice. I do this. Like my father was a speaker, and he was an air conditioning refrigeration technician. I'm not a refrigeration. I can fix one, but that's not what I went to. That's not what I want to do. And it's not really have to go into that family business. Everybody wants to be special and separate, But overall, we're still. You that Kareem boy. Oh, you that Chavis boy. I know about that.
But that's legacy, though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's legacy. That's a part. That's what goes along with legacy.
And I think that our children will easily become themselves. It's like and they because stress and coming home, working the corporate life, that 9 to 5,
right,
and it really strains the whole family ecosystem because you're so stressed that you coming home from work, your passion is gone. Right. You just want to go to sleep, or you just sit there in front of the television, and that's where cooking comes in. It builds that family unit,
right.
And I think that when you prepare your food, you will eat a lot less. I mean, we all will eat a lot less. I mean, when I cook, I'm already snacking.
Right.
So I will have a smaller plate, and just because you buy in bulk doesn't mean you have to eat in bulk. That's one of the things that people do, and I think that the one thing that separates the rich from the poor is how we eat, and that's really what it comes down to.
That's a good point. Well, we got a little bit of time left. We got about 25 minutes, 30 minutes, and we're going to take some calls towards the end of the show in order to get feedback, get questions, and we're going to be building with you all for 6 weeks. So we look forward to building that unity and networking. So in that sense, we do have a feature every week. We plan on featuring different movements that are going on in the community. And today we're featuring a local business, Shakur's Merchandise, and we're going to be playing a clip, so y'all can check that out. And after the clip plays, we'll come back and we'll chop it up a little bit more. But we'll open up the phone lines and see what you all think about being natural, natural movements, specifically entrepreneurship, and what that means for you, and how you think that could help be a solution for some of the
Yeah,
problems that
yeah.
people are facing now,
Yeah.
given this recession. So we'll be right back after this clip from Shakur's merchandise.
My name is Mahasan Shakur, and this is my son, Yak Yak. Turn around, Yak Yak. Let me get your photo. My husband's usually in here, Dawood Shakur. And we've been at this location since 2002. We used to be on Broad Street.
Okay, so let me see how you wanted to
My husband and I have been in business together over 35 years.
Okay,
From New York, D.C., and North Carolina.
Yeah, no doubt.
And we just wanted to be productive in the community. Show people that you can do it, and you can. You got to put your money where your mouth is, though.
No doubt.
And you have to treat people fair and be fair in your dealings. And as a matter of fact, in the next couple of weeks, there will be an article coming out in the Free Press telling our people, if people don't respect you, stop spending your money with them. So whenever you come to Shakur's, we expect whoever's in here to give the best customer service.
Bam.
We want your money, but we also want to treat you as a human being.
That's right.
And we as a people, African American people, we have to start demanding respect because we're the #1 consumer.
That's right.
So we want you to buy black, but we also want the business people to respect the customer and appreciate that black dollar. Try to keep it in the community.
Why did y'all choose 2nd Street?
Because Second Street Festival, honestly.
And what is 2nd Street Festival?
That's a festival that happens yearly. It started with a few African American people. It's kind of got out of the African American hands, but it's still a good time. It's like a big old family reunion in the city. People come together, haven't seen each other in a long time. Entertainment, arts, time for cultural items to be purchased in the city in one location.
Right.
It's just a big family affair. I wish they would do something more for the young people to engage them, to appreciate the event. But it's a good time. It's a good time.
How is it selling? Your core items are like, the oils, the incense, the body care products. How is it, being in a I guess like an urban center like this and having.
This is who supports us. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
A lot of people say, well, I need to get out because ain't nobody shopping in there.
Oh yes, this is the place to be. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Honestly, if I could be frank, no one wants to give us money. But we readily give them ours.
Yeah.
But no, this is where I want to be.
What do you think about the revitalization plans of downtown Richmond? Like, how is that manifesting for you? Is that something that you welcome, or is that something that you take with precaution as you look at it?
I think that whatever God has for me is for me, but I just think that we're always behind the 8 ball. We always stand back and say what they're doing. This building was vacant for years. But we as a people, we always feel like we can't come together. We don't trust each other. This building could have been purchased by African American people. We could have did the same thing that the European is doing. But we always say, they ain't gonna let us do it. We always sit behind the 8 ball talking about what people won't let us do. We hold ourselves back. And I'm not one of those people. I don't think like that.
Right.
I think that everything that's going on in our lives is for a reason. You get kicked off your job, create your own job. This is the opportunity for us. We can't look at it like, oh, I lost my job, You need to be doing for yourself anyway. So, you opened up a can of worms.
Go in on it, though.
Come on now.
Go in on it, though.
This is not a sad time. This is a good time.
No doubt.
It's a time for us to stand up. Stop begging everybody for 50 cents. They treat you bad, they overwork you, and all you do is complain.
And then beg for another job.
People. That's it. Another line. Somebody to abuse you. No. No, go to school, get an education, get a skill, open up your own. That's what's happening.
That's what's happening right now.
Yes.
So, y'all both, you and your husband, y'all been together for 35 years. What's been the secret of y'all's success?
No, we've not been together.
Oh, okay.
Both second marriages, but we've always been self-employed.
Okay.
Now, my father had his own barbershop.
Oh,
so
okay.
I guess it was engraved
So y'all come in the
New
lineage
York.
of
Yeah.
ownership.
Exactly.
Okay, no doubt. So what's the secret of staying in business?
Treating people fair.
Treating people fair.
Being fair in your dealings, having affordable prices. We have people that don't have but 50 cents. We got a 50-cent oil bottle. We don't outprice ourselves. We don't buy something for 50 cents and sell it for 5,000. Be fair. We ain't trying to get rich. We just want to be able to pay our bills, be helpful to the community, and we set people up in business.
Tell me about that. Like, I know y'all do the wholesales and stuff, so wholesaling, right?
Yeah.
For the oils.
We put a minimum amount on your first purchase. After that, you buy as you need it. And it's a supplement. A lady came in today. She's so happy. She's so happy because she could make extra money. You know, and some of them take it to another level. They go get their vendor's license. They open up their own business. They're so proud. They show us, see what you helped me do? I didn't have to go do crazy stuff in the street. I could do something honest. You know, so, and that's a blessing also, to be able to encourage people, show them how to get in business, show them how to be entrepreneurs. It's just a blessing.
Word. So that's what's up, man. I appreciate y'all taking the time. And Shakur, what's your address?
Shakur's Merchandise, 319 North 2nd Street, Richmond, Virginia, between Roar and Marshall, across from Tropical Soul.
All right. Y'all have a good one. We'll be back with y'all after National Day TV.
Thank you.
Once again, we're back to Natural Movement. Thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Shakur. We stopped on entrepreneurship. Now, what would help people with getting their own business? What would they have to do?
And I definitely have to say that one of the most important things for you to do would be to network. You know, you definitely have to get out there and not just be selfish, but be selfless, be genuinely interested in what other people are doing. Because what happens is that you meet people every day. You know, imagine how many people you walk past every day, how many people you connect with and conversate with every day. And by having genuine interest in what they're doing, you never know what kind of relationship can blossom by virtue of finding out what people are doing, what their passion is, what their talents are. So, you know, I think that, you know, networking is just about that, being able to articulate yourself in what you do, but more so being able to listen and hear what other people are doing, and having the creativity or imagination or vision to be able to see how you and that other person can connect, in what ways that y'all can build for other situations. You know, it's a lot of good behind getting from behind the TV and getting off the internet.
Yeah, I mean, you can I understand networking on the internet is cool,
Right?
You know, but you're right. You have to actually go out there and shake them hands and kiss them babies, like, you know. I mean, honestly,
Nothing beats personal interaction.
Oh God, you know, I wish I could, you know. Yeah, I mean, being a personal trainer, you have to be, you know, there's no way I can do it corresponding over the phone.
Yeah, really?
You know,
I know,
put
right?
your back into it, like, you know.
One more again.
Now, lift them knees. I can't go over the phone. You ain't breathing hard enough. So with networking, you have to get out there and do it.
Right.
You have to actually get out. Now, with technology as it is, do you think, what about technology that's helpful? And what do you think is, do you think technology is helpful, or a hindrance? I'm gonna leave it. I'm not gonna leave it at that.
open-ended.
Let's say Facebook.
Word. Okay. Well, this is my opinion, and callers, feel free to chime in on this point, for yourself as well. Facebook is very, it's very useful.
Yeah.
It's very useful. It is really shorten the degrees of separation between people. If you are authentic, and you really have your business together, then Facebook can be a magnificent way to grow what you got going on. I mean, I just be honest. I'm on Facebook. I'm on
Facebook.
And so I put my business on Facebook, and I think we have a group of like almost 3,000 people on it.
Yeah.
And I think by virtue of doing my business, I got like 3,000 friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
And my Facebook page is like for the festival. I mean, it's just it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, but I say that, with trepidation. You know what I'm saying? Because just because you got a lot of people checking you on Facebook doesn't mean that you're gonna make any money. So or doesn't mean that they really care about what you're doing.
Yeah,
so,
you're not. Yeah, or you're making friends. Yeah. I do. I am a Facebook fan. But I also like seeing people. You can't do this on Facebook.
Right, you still can.
Hey, man.
So, so I can't give you that. I can't give you that on Facebook. I can't dap you up on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's a whole different energy. And I think that while technology is awesome, I think that we've gotten into this zone. It's virtual reality, and a lot of us, we get behind the computer. And that's it. We live vicariously through others. And it's really in that sense it's a handicap, because I know people that's on Facebook that got businesses that don't push their business on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's like you really gonna be and you're not gonna maximize
Multitask.
It's a distraction for some folks. I mean, I know I'm on Facebook. I post a lot of thoughts and viewpoints that I have about life and about business, about existing, period. So it's and links about stuff that's going on in the world or whatever. That's just
that's a tool.
It's like my sounding board. In some
Yeah.
way, shape, form, and fashion. But I also use
It's your soapbox.
my Facebook page. I say what I want to say. So in that sense, it's kind of wild. But the Twitters, the Facebooks has definitely shifted the way that we communicate, and it's definitely added value to my bottom line. I think we've expanded our outreach. This lady I was talking to on Christmas Eve, we sat down and we talked about how many people we connected with. I was, multiplied as like for every one person that knows me on Facebook, they know another person. So that's potentially, if I know 3,000 people, that's 6,000
At least.
At least. So multiply 6,000 times 3, because I got at least 6,000 or 3,000 on each one of my Facebook pages. That's 18,000. Now my website, that's like 5,000 people on my email list. So multiply that. So, and so we just did these numbers. Now it's all of a sudden I was thinking like, wow, this is
half the earth.
it's like 500,000 people. Like at the end of over the course of a year that we reaching. So it's awesome when you think about it in that scale. But at the end of the day, it's still you're still dealing with real people. It's not just numbers. And so you definitely want to be real. You want to be natural. You want to be yourself, and you want to do what you do authentically.
My person. I'll be frank, honest. I'll beat y'all a little bit. I won't be frank. But my daughter was sitting there playing Cafe World, hungry. Like, I can't move because my stuff. I was like, but you're hungry. Can you? I mean, maybe that's just an old man in me, but it's. I can't play a life video game. I mean, there gotta be some monsters. There gotta be some.
And this is another point too. To think about it, like Facebook has become one of the primary ways of people hooking up. So and when you think about networking, really, and this is to men, and women. if you really got a business, man, utilize what you have on the Facebook and really make it pop for yourself. Don't just use it just as a base level. Don't think with your lower head. I mean, I'm talking to dudes. Think with your higher mind, because you might be connecting with her or trying to holler at a woman just because she looks pretty in her Facebook photo, but she really could have a lot going on for herself, in terms of her business acumen, and in terms of just being an asset to helping you manifest what you're trying to manifest. But if you think with your lower head and not your higher mind, then all you're trying to do is get in the skins or whatever, or take her out to eat, but you really are kind of like shortchanging the exchange. So use and that's a networking tool that every woman that you meet doesn't have to, is not somebody that you're trying to be intimately engaged in, or even vicariously engaged in, because it interferes with your business. So
it really does.
Think about your business and think about what you're trying to do. I mean, it is a recession. Your job is not promised. I mean, some of us work for the city and the state, and those jobs have a little bit of longevity. But if you work in the private industry, you could be gone tomorrow. So think about what ways are you, stabilizing your future in the climate that we live in right now.
Well, I think I think that. And people think that natural means, healthy food, and organic means food, but organic means doing things naturally. With like Reese's peanut butter, it's chocolate and it's peanut butter, and organic, they just mesh together. And so organic thing, it could be listen to live music versus listening to music on your iPod or what have you. Going into those live shows, doing those things organically. Organic is just not the way you eat. It's more the way you live. It's a lifestyle. I have a couple of clients who are like 100 pounds overweight. They want to lose 100 pounds in 2 weeks. But they'll go into insulin shock. They will basically be killing themselves trying to do it like that. 2 pounds a week. If you're that overweight, 2 pounds a week for a year, you'll be back to normal. That's doing it organically. Doing it inorganically is taking these amphetamines or what have you, and these diet pills to block out your hunger and what have you. You can be eating well and you're still hungry.
But where's the discipline in that? Like, don't you want to master self? That's the thought.
Well, see, 2 pounds a week, you're not going to say I'm gonna be a man. I'm there, but I'm getting there, because life is, the high road is not a destination. It's actually, it's getting there. The best part of going somewhere is getting there.
Right.
I mean, just like life and death, or life and non-life. You want it to be a natural progression or degression or what have you. You want to being healthy, and I want to rake my own yard at 85 years old.
Exactly.
I mean, it may take me all day,
but hey,
I don't want to be a hindrance for anyone. And I don't know what 2012 or Armageddon may happen, and everybody, and I understand that. What people say, sometimes what they say can hinder them also. And a lot of people, there was a electrical outage, and people say my power is off. I don't have any power. And I was like, no, man, your electricity off. You got plenty of power. It's just your electricity is off. Like I'm just gonna shut down.
Right.
No electricity.
Right.
And technology is great and everything, but there's some things that a person should know how to do. They should know how to cook. They should know how to clean. There's certain skills that every person should have if they're able-minded body, and that's just natural. I mean, it's technology is great, but there's not like getting your hands dirty and playing in the mud like we were as children, or at least
growing your own food.
Growing your own food. I mean, we can't just go to the grocery store. We can, but it's better to go. There's plenty of farmers. That's how they make their money.
Well, what if the grocery store is closed? You know what I'm saying? Then what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
You don't have no clue about how to grow a vegetable when that's where your food comes from. So it's kind of odd for us to be in a society. I think it's unnatural for us to live in a society where, our primary, we work for our home, and we work so we have heat, and we work so we have food. Those are the basics: food, clothing, and shelter. So, if somebody's in control of your food at all times, imagine Imagine if there was no grocery store. No, imagine if there was no food stamps. I mean, and I'm just going to, say that, but we're running out of time. We're running out of time, but all in all, just to wrap that thought up, definitely, it's very natural to be in control of your destiny, and it's very natural to be, secure and confident that you can meet the challenges that life has to throw at you and won't crumble under the pressure or just give up. There's a lot to you. There's a God force that lives inside of each one of us that doesn't know a limit. That doesn't know can't. I think can.
We're African, Mexican,
right? Right.
European.
Yeah, you are can like that.
Indian, you can.
So, any last words? We got 5 more minutes. We're getting ready to wrap it up.
I think do not wait till you get hungry to eat. Because that's when people binge. You can get in touch with me through Facebook, Jalil Kareem. You see at the bottom of the screen. Also, I want to give a shout out to my friend Mustafa Shabazz. He has a website called thingstodoandplacestogO.com. And if you want to find things to do in Richmond and surrounding areas, that's one place to do. And don't grab your computer all the time. Grab a dictionary. Do things antiquated.
Read a book.
Read a book. Yeah.
God forbid, not a Kindle. Not to read a book.
Lick the pages and
put a bookmark on it.
And get out there and do something. Try to live a bit. You don't have to change 180 degrees, but there's also we're not telling you that you have to change. You should tell yourself that you have to change, whatever it is. It can be something big and it can be something small. It's a new year, and I'm glad that we shared this new year together because it's been very organic. It's been very natural, and it's a natural progression. This is a natural movement, and that's where it sort of encompasses. It encompasses everything in natural movement. It's nothing too hippified or nothing too belligerent, but it's just natural movement.
It ain't too far left. It ain't too far right. It's in the center. It's balanced.
It's balanced. And that's and the scales often change, so you have to adapt. And that's what that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. For today, this is my story.
Yeah, we'll be back with y'all next week on Natural Movements. If you want to get in contact with either one of us online, Jalil Kareem on Facebook, Brother Manifest on Facebook, also HappilyNaturalDay.com. There's a lot of different things that we're looking forward to doing with the show. Guests, we'll have some guests, and we'll have more features, more video from our travels and people that we've met and people that we're meeting. If you're interested in connecting with us and you have a natural movement, feel free to contact us. The number's at the bottom. And we'll be happy and looking forward to connecting with you. This is the year of cooperative economics. This is the year of collective work and responsibility. So, let's link and make the reality that we desire manifest. There's no room for broke. There's no room for can't. This is a new situation. This is a new year. And you can have anything you desire. The only thing you got to get rid of is fear, complacency, and just this idea of it won't happen. You got to do something, even if it's just writing it down. Just get a pencil and paper and write down what you want to see happen, and meditate on it and try to make because whatever you focus your mind on expands. But that's it. We Natural Movements. That's the theme music. We'll see y'all next week, man. Come tune in. Natural Movements. We love y'all. Peace.
Look out the window, working the weekend, and all his brother needs to be freaking. Breathe fair air as I prepare to look fresh. Wondering what my life's gonna get on the placement test. As I caress the pencil and put volume on the instruments, and I realized the busting suckers was a task that was too simple. Now as my deep thought pondered and my intellect wandered, it took me to a scene that made a revelation of a daydream, and it was my mom singing. Don't let them fool you, and they only gonna give you 3/5.